don't stop doing that, I'm gonna tell Mr. J, and he's... What are you?
Few games I ever finally crafted masterpieces, but I still think of this game when I play others. It's the adrenaline, the momentum of chaining those combos, the catapulting of one bad guy to another, the kick that fluidly connects with a punch and then hitting an enemy from afar with a well-placed gadget. I believe I'm addicted to playing as the Batman, or I am the Batman in these moments of fighting and investigating. As my mind shapeshifts, I fear no evil. The city fears me. Who is Bruce Wayne and why does he matter? The opening act was my favorite because of vulnerability playing a big role, as this isn't the freedom I remember from Arkham Asylum. This is like Samus without her suit, Raiden running naked in Metal Gear Solid 2, Doom Guy without his shotgun. But Bruce Wayne is the hero no one deserves, but needs, so he breaks free. I wouldn't mind an hour of Bruce. He proves that even without his suit, he's capable of doing damage, and you can feel every punch as it breaks bones. No one who's really the boss of this town. The time finally comes after climbing a building and the feeling exactly how I thought it would be. It's the same tingly feeling I got when I finally reached the HEB suit in Half-Life Black Mesa. Now this guy plays like a dream. This is a trademark gameplay that a lot of other developers took notes from to create a similar combat system for Sleeping Dogs, Shadow Mortar, and Mad Max. I enjoyed how one button controlled both punches and kicks. One did all the counterattacks because this made using the gadgets easier to deploy. The trick was to land the next attack after the connection to gain extra combo chain points, so you can use the combo finishers quicker. I recommend you record your fights because it just looks so impressive when you're not deeply concentrated. Gadgets included the Batarang, which I used to cancel out enemies to give me space to deal with fewer distractions. The Bat Claw allowed me to bring in someone from afar to continue the combo. Explosive Gel, which I never used because it broke my combo due to bad timing and explosion. Freeze Blast, which was like hitting someone with a snowball and freezing them in place. The Remote Electrical Charge, which stunned bad guys to prep up for a combo to the face. These are some of the gadgets, and to be honest, it was too overwhelming that I only needed 2 or 3 to keep the combo running, as thinking too much on what to use next led to more mistakes, and there was rarely any enemies that required a specific gadget. Stealth was fun and required against enemies with guns that would melt you in seconds. I think I had more fun planning attacks than Sam Fisher. Gadgets worked almost the same, but it allowed to set traps. Once again, I rarely used them because they weren't extremely necessary, but it allowed for more flexibility in maneuvering around undetected. I enjoyed how they placed these sections. It was a break from the same combat, but I never felt like they did too many of these. Arkham City was very balanced gameplay wise. I think I beat the story in the span of 3 days. Upgrades were phenomenal and Rocksteady Studios did it the perfect way. Most of the upgrades from Arkham Asylum were already unlocked, and they added so much more and plenty of freedom on how to go your Dark Knight. For 2020, Gotham City was beautiful. Batman was quick with his traversal. I need to play Arkham Knight again to compare, but I enjoyed it better than Arkham Asylum. It was the perfect size, and I liked it better because it gave me more tactical positions to strike. 360 tactical positions anytime, anywhere. The city was plentiful of bad guys, side activities, and side quests. The music was orchestrating to me vibes that kept me going. It was dark, seedy. The city needed to be fixed the Batman way. The story kept me hooked. Catwoman was in danger, you save her, then you get shot at. It's the Joker and he's sick. But then Hugo Strange knows Batman's identity. He has a plan of attack. It's two stories in one. Maybe 3 if you include Catwoman's gameplay, which I will get to later. The selection of villains couldn't be better. Riddler as always, Joker, Mr. Freeze, Harley Quinn, Two-Face, Penguin, Hugo Strange, and many more unmentioned or through side quests. This is the perfect Batman game in my opinion, and I keep thinking that I wish there was more in the form of DLC. These villains are the best villains and kept the story interesting. It was well paced, and the places you visit are large in scope, all different due to the amount of villains in the game. Catwoman was a fine addition to the Batman story. Not only does she have her own gadgets, a little side story and it connects, but she's playable in the city. I didn't like her at first due to her gadgets, but then I enjoyed her equally as Batman because her attacks and movement speed was faster, and that fueled my adrenaline. The city stories were equivalent to The Witcher 3 in quality. What I mean by that is that they weren't just fetch quests or beat up these many enemies or go find A and take it to B. But villains not part of the main story were tied to this. There are cameos from Arkham Asylum and new villains, and they all play differently. I enjoy my time with each one of them. As for the DLC story, you play as Robin in the aftermath of the main story, going against Harley Quinn. I won't give too much away. I enjoyed how he could use his shield to block gunfire and gas. His gameplay didn't involve much sneaking, but his combat was extra fun with gadgets from Batman's arsenal and a few of his own. The DLC story wrapped things up nicely, but I didn't like how it was only less than 2 hours and Harley Quinn's part was really easy after all the tricks I learned from the main story. Still, I enjoyed it, and you can't get too much of a good thing. The combat is fun. For extras, there's an arena mode you can play with different characters. Batman, Catwoman, Robin, Nightwing. I enjoyed that. This arena mode, which will prohibit me from uninstalling Arkham City, as I can always come back to this to train my mind till I learn Kung Fu. There are Riddler's trophies for extras and collectibles, but I was never interested in those. Nobody could do it without a guide, and if I did, I wouldn't have time to play the other 500 other games in my collection. To wrap things up, I thoroughly enjoyed this adventure. My biggest gripe would be the optimization wasn't that great on PC. Thank you for watching my video. I'm going to get better at doing these. Peace, take care, one love.